What's up, everybody? This is Derrick. We're going to be talking about the Moeller technique. Goes around a lot. Not many people aren't sure what it is or how it works. It's a very taboo, exotic technique, but I'm going to try and break it down for you and show you that it's really not that difficult, and it's pretty beneficial to most drummers. So the first thing that I want to address, first off, is I always hear a debate going on between grip. Which grip is best for the Moeller technique? People go, the best technique is forefinger, okay, or best technique is the middle finger. Doesn't matter, all right? Doesn't matter. The Moeller technique can be done with either grip, okay? So whatever grip you're comfortable with is the one you should use. And I will demonstrate in this video that both techniques are decent and usable for the Moeller technique. So, first thing that needs to be addressed is the first stroke, the motion of the first stroke. And this is the essence of the Moeller technique. We all know that Sanford Moeller, back in the day, he saw the Civil War drummers getting this huge sound out of those old, nasty, horrible tuned drums. How are they getting this big sound? And he noticed that it was a movement of the wrist. And instead of just going upstroke, downstroke, they were actually bringing their wrist up first, like this, and then whipping it down and getting a big momentum, a big sound out of the drum. And that's how they were able to achieve this. So he developed this into his own technique. And basically, with the right hand, there's two ways to think of it. The way I was taught was either throwing a ball like that, where your wrist comes back and snaps forward, or think of yourself whipping a stagecoach. Sitting on a stagecoach and the horses aren't going fast enough, whip them. All right, that's kind of cruel, but wrist comes up and wham. Same thing here. If we take the stick, wrist comes up and everything follows down from the pivot of the wrist like this. Looks like this. Okay, now's also a good time to learn the free stroke, taught by Dom Famularo and Jim Chapin, many guys like that. And what that is basically when the stick hits the head, do not stop it. Let it come back. Let it rebound as it wants to. Looks like this. See, the stick's coming back on its own. I'm not stopping it when it gets down here. Let it come back. Okay? Same thing with the left hand. When you want to come down, the stick naturally wants to rebound back up. Let it. Okay? So now that we have figured out this motion, okay, with the right hand, the left hand, the way I was taught, think of bird crap. You accidentally put your hand in bird crap, it's the first thing you do. You whip it off. It's disgusting. Blah. You know, put the stick in your hand, it's the same motion. Okay? It's this whip. Okay, and it's not this big exaggerated thing, it's just ball of the wrist comes up first and it whips down. Bam! Getting this big sound and let it rebound back. This is great for drum set playing when playing big backbeats. A lot of people who play the big rock and big styles that require a lot of sound out of that snare drum, they don't like traditional technique because it doesn't give them the big sound that match grip does. With the Moeller technique, we now can get that huge backbeat from the snare drum. And again, let it come back. Okay, so the first thing to remember about Moeller technique is the movement of the wrist. Okay? Secondly, rebound. These are the two most important things of the Moeller technique. The wrist movement and the rebound. So, let's take our first motion, which is the wrist coming up and coming down. Remember, we're letting the stick come back, but now we're going to let it rebound. We're going to let it do the stick what it wants to do. Okay? Let it do what it wants. You see how much momentum I'm getting from that whip. And remember, there's no fingers going, there's nothing going on here. This is not, okay? Those other notes are pure 100% rebound. The only stroke I'm using is the first one. Okay, same thing with the left hand. We're going to whip it down, let it rebound. Once again, this is not, that's a whole different ballgame. All rebound. Okay, now get comfortable with both hands on the whipping motion and letting the stick rebound. from here, what I want to do is we want to stop the stick after 2 rebounds. Okay, so we have 3 strokes total, our whip and 2 rebounds. That's when we stop. Okay, same thing with the left hand. A good exercise for this is just think of 16th notes: 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. Same thing with the left hand. You screwed up. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. It's crucial to remember at this point, no fingers. The two notes that come after the whip are rebound. Rebound only. 1 E and. I'm not going 1 E and. Pure 100% rebound. Cannot stress that enough. Okay, and now what I can do is I can show you that this will work with both grips. 4-finger, middle finger, or if you're one of those old school guys that likes to play back here like on the fife drums, that grip, you can do it that way too. Okay, now the way I do it, I use the middle finger, just because, and simply because that's the most comfortable grip for me. It has nothing to do with the debate of which one's better, because as far as I'm concerned, neither one is better. It's up to you which one you feel most comfortable with, and which grip allows you to get a nice whip and get the most rebound. Some people find that the 4-finger doesn't allow more rebound. It tends to buzz. That's not true if you just relax on the stick a little bit. I can get huge rebound with 4-finger, just as much as I can with the middle. Okay, so now we got 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. Once you become comfortable with that, slowly turn it into a continuous triplet. Before we were putting a rest before we went back into the next whip stroke. Rest, 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 rest. Now we're going to make it continuous. Triplet, triplet, triplet. I'm going to do it slowly so you can really see what I'm doing. Whip, 2, 3, whip, 2, 3, whip, 2, 3, whip, rebound, rebound, whip, rebound, rebound. And I'm forcing each one just to show you what your hand's going to look like. So with 100% pure rebound, 1, 2, 3, triplet, triplet, triplet. And I'm using my middle finger as the fulcrum, you can see. I'm going to switch to 4-finger. Triplet, triplet. Doesn't matter. Either one can be used. And the only stroke, remember, the only stroke I'm using is the first one, the whip. You can see, while the triplet is happening, you can see the ball of my wrist pivot. Watch. See how it's coming up? That's the preparation for the next whip. Okay, now let's take a look at the left hand. Turning it into a triplet. Now what you might notice with the left hand is something like this outward motion. Basically what that is, it is the whip, but the left hand cannot come up like this, like the right hand can. It doesn't work that way. So it has to have a different motion. So when we bring the ball of our wrist up, it turns into this forward punch. Boom, boom. Now remember, again, can't stress it enough, 1 hit, 2 rebounds. I can even open my hand way up like Tony Williams did. You can see the only stroke I'm doing is the first one. And this is actually a good way to learn what it feels like for the left hand to be rebounded. Okay, now put the fingers back on. So just whip, rebound, rebound, whip, rebound, rebound. Okay, now we have the basic motions for the Moeller technique. Once you get comfortable doing this, then you can start building up speed. Okay, again, even when I'm going that fast, There's none of this French grip finger control. It's just rebound. You can see my hand doing this. Bop, 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 bucket, 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 bucket. And the only thing that's coming from my left hand is whip, whip, whip. Everything else, 100% rebound, okay? Now, how do we put them together? This is how I learned, okay? We're going to do 2 measures each, right hand, left hand. Sounds like this. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, left. 2, 3, 4, left, 2, together, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, when we put them together, we're striving for accuracy. We're striving for double stops. We don't want any flams, anything like that. We want them both to be the same. We want the amount of rebound to be identical. Because when we start alternating, the rebound has to be identical or else you're going to get back. So, keep an eye on the stick heights. That's a good indication of how much rebound you're getting. And constantly keep in mind rebound. Rebound is huge. Okay, now from here, we're going to do the exact same thing, putting them together, just like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to offset our left hand. Okay, so now instead of a triplet together, like that, it's going to look like this. Okay, so it's the same thing, only now I'm separating them. Both hands are still going like that. Okay, so we're getting a 6-tuplet with 2 accents at the beginning. Up, 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 up. And this is a good way now to work on accuracy, to try to avoid this, all these flams and weird notes. You want to get nice evenness. Okay, so now let's add that to our exercise. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, together, 1, 2, and okay, so now we have a nice little exercise that we can do over and over again that will help us remember whip, rebound, evenness. It's a good exercise to remember all the things involved in the Moeller technique. Now, finally, everybody who sees the Moeller technique sees guys like Steve Smith, Dave Weichel, Jim Chape, and Joe Morello doing this wickedly fast alternating triplet, which is that. But they're using the Moeller technique, and it just goes really fast. Okay, so how to do that? Basically, if I slow this down, and I take my left hand out, look at what my right hand's doing. Triplet, triplet, triplet. Exact same thing as it was doing before. Nothing has changed. Okay, with the left hand, if I take my right hand out, exact same thing. Okay, so we have to put them together. Triplet, triplet, triplet. And I'm not using the Moeller technique right now. I'm going to speed it up, and I'm going to switch to Moeller right now. See the change? And this will allow me a decent amount of speed, a decent amount of control, things like that. It takes a lot of time to practice to get a nice, even flow. You can even tell that I'm not perfect at it. Okay, so let's add that to our exercise. 1, 2, 1, 2, together. 2, and. Okay, so now we have like what? 8 measures or something like that. I don't know. So, but that goes from the very beginning and takes you all the way through the different steps to get up to this. Okay, so two most important things to remember on the Moeller: whip. Okay, you think of it however you want. Throwing a ball, whipping a stagecoach, whatever other analogy you can come up with. Left hand, I thought of bird crap. You know, whatever. Just get used to your wrist doing that motion. No upstroke, downstroke, up, none of that. It's just whip and rebound. Okay? Let's try the exercise one more time. A little bit faster. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay? You can take it to whatever speed you want. The Moeller technique, since you're doing all rebound, there really is no limit to how fast you can go. You can get pretty quick. Okay, I've seen people do it blindingly fast. Guys like Jim Chapin and so forth that I've mentioned before. So, summing up, that exercise will cover everything. Doesn't matter which grip you use. Stop arguing about it. Whip, rebound. That's it. That's all you got to remember. And don't go straight from this into this. Okay, no, don't do that. Start with putting them together and then separating them. Because your arms and your wrists need to learn how to go back and forth and how to get an evenness. Otherwise, I would be... No, we don't want that. Okay, and then once you're comfortable and it sounds nice and even, then go ahead and attempt the triplet accents. Okay? Now, in closing, this is the way I learned the Moeller technique. This is the way I do the Moeller technique. There is no right or wrong way to do it. There is no right or wrong grip. There is no right or wrong nothing. As Steve Smith put it, as long as you're not hurting yourself, as long as it sounds good, as long as it feels easy. So that's the only conditions that need to be met. So maybe my techniques might not work for you. Maybe you might find one of the grips works better for you, or something with you do something with your left hand that allows more rebound. Hey, go for it. Okay? Just remember, for the 50th billionth time, whip and rebound. Okay, let it rebound. All right, we'll see you guys next time. I hope you learned something. Go ahead and practice, and also try to apply this on the drum set or on the snare drum or whatever you use. This is not an end. This is a means to an end. Okay, keep that in mind. Nothing is more important than musical expression. How we get there is important too, and this is one way to get there. So we'll see you next time. I'm Derrick. See you later.